blue sticks to start. Hi there, it's Hal Feldman, MiamiHal, and we are here in a brand new set for the MiamiHal Real Estate Show. And we always talked about personalities of the agents, right?
Right.
I think this was done on purpose. I got my nice business slacks on, and you have your tennies on, which is the way you do business.
I have my business slacks on.
And it's perfect. It's perfect. Love the legs.
Thank you.
The legs.
Thank you.
So we really have an interesting topic to get to today. Javier Gonazalez, another agent at Remax Advanced Realty. He's a wonderful agent. I consider myself a good agent, and together we really have different perspectives on the market. We always serve our clients well.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
So you wanted to start off, we have a topic in real estate, but you want to talk about the Miami Dolphins
Absolutely.
draft.
I think this is the Dolphin draft.
I don't know if we have anything. We do have sports related stuff. Behind me is a baseball reference.
I think the question is who are we picking tonight? We got the 6th pick and the 18th pick.
You know, I have been so busy in real estate, I don't know who the heck to pick. But tell us a little bit about your desires on the draft.
I don't know. I think we may trade down if we don't have one of the top guys, and we'll see. We'll see who Atlanta picks at 4. I think they're bluffing. I think they say they're going to pick Pitts, and I think they'll still go quarterback or trade out. So that gives the Dolphins a great opportunity.
It is a chess match every year.
It is a chess match every year. So and the only thing you know is the first guy, which is Trevor Lawrence. That's for sure. That's a fact. So we'll see. It'll be fun tonight. So
yeah,
that's it. That's
for sure. You planning on the same attire to watch the draft?
No. We have a different attire.
You're going formal?
Yeah, no, we put flip-flops on.
Okay, good. Yeah, this is dress up.
Yeah, this is okay, very dressy.
Perfect. So, well, in real estate, we have this continuation of an absolute heightened, frothy market with ever escalating prices.
Yep, sure do.
And surprisingly, appraisals that seem to want to continue with that upward trend,
right,
which is great for buyers because even though they're putting in high offers, they're actually able to close.
They'll be able to put the deal together.
Amazing and a little surprising to me. I don't know how it plays in your mind.
I think we're seeing the increases. You know, we talk. I know that you work down in Palmetto Bay, and you look at some of the numbers that we were looking at. You know, maybe 3 years ago, and the numbers it's almost 50%.
Yeah,
and that's a huge increase, and the thing about it is it's not an investor demand. We talked about this, I think, on another show. It's not investor demand. These are actual people.
It's true. I need to live somewhere, and Palmetto Bay, Pinecrest, Coral Gables, the Grove. This is where people want to be.
And it's just continuing to spike up. And you look at yourself and says, where do you think it's going to end?
Yeah.
And is there an ending point? You know, I have my thoughts about that, and we can talk about that a little bit later. But I think it's just right now a market that has no inventory, has pent up demand. And I think also what we're seeing too is people moving out of realizing that COVID affected their lives in a way that a condominium may not suit them. So now they want a little bit more space. They want their own things. And I think that's what's really driving this market right now.
So driving the market to higher and higher elevation.
Yeah.
And I guess our topic for today is really germane to what's going on, which is what is affordable housing? Right. And it's a very interesting topic because the government always talks about we're going to provide affordable housing to the people that need to live in this area but cannot necessarily afford the houses that are here. There's the governmental strict and the political promises of affordable housing.
Right.
But we're also going to touch upon what affordable housing means to the average Joe who doesn't necessarily need the governmental affordable housing.
Right. Yeah.
So you've done a lot more research on this, and I'd love for you to start to share with our audience what does affordable housing mean?
In the government, from a government sector, it becomes very, very complex because what you're doing is you're setting different levels. You know, you're saying, you know, is it a low income LOI? Is it 30%? Is it 50% of AMI? And I'm using a term. AMI was the average medium income for how how the government's figured out. And so in Miami-Dade County in 2020, and this will change actually this month, it will change. It'll make an update. It's 59,100. That's your medium income.
In the county.
In the county.
Just short of 60 grand.
Just short of 60 grand
Okay.
For a household.
Right.
Now, one of the key elements is, though, if you're in the city of Miami, the city of Miami's is less. It's 39,000. So you have a difference, of about 20 grand in the same affordability aspect.
Let me tell you, I could use an extra 20 grand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And then that's how they modify it. And then you go up as high as workforce housing, which is 140% of the medium income. So it depends on where you are. If you're in city of Miami and your average income is, let's say 40 grand, but you're being measured against 60, it's very hard for you to be able to get into the thing. So from affordability, I think we talked about this. I ran for a commissioner at one time, and I told everybody that I couldn't do affordable housing because of our nature of what we see.
Wait a minute.
What we know.
You were honest
I
as
was
a
honest.
politician?
Yeah, I was honest as
Okay.
a public servant, not a politician.
Okay.
Obviously, that's why I got
That's
crushed.
true. There are
never came
politicians there
close.
in office.
Exactly.
You being the potential
Yep.
public servant are not.
Toast.
And that's the way you think, which
Yeah.
is interesting. But we talk about, again, what affordable housing means, and the government starts to figure out average
Yep.
income for an area. And then how do they determine how housing could
They-
serve those people?
They offer credits. They offer tax credits and benefits based upon how their government the governments have been set up. So in Miami-Dade County, if you look, it's 25% to a project cost. So everybody has different levels of what you do, and then how you qualify for these grants and for these loan programs. So when you look at it, it's really complex. The developers tax, the tax developers know how to do this, and it's just different ways and different numbers to get to an affordable project. And how much of it are you going to make affordable in the building? Is it going to be 20%? Is it going to be 80%? Is it going to be workforce housing? Are you going to set aside 20% for low income? And all of those things are factored in, and that's how you get to these projects. But at the end of the day, these projects are funded by government programs, because if not, you can't do it. I'll give you a little bit of background. Years ago, this was something when in Coconut Grove, Grand Avenue was vacant. It still is. It's going through a project, but we went to an affordable developer and said, what do we need to do to buy this lot? The land was on the market for $30 million. So for us to build affordable housing based upon the units that were there, we needed to buy the doors at like $27,000. A door being.
Thank you. Good. We don't want
Okay,
to talk
sorry.
all in real estate terms.
So
Door
a door being what you can build. So on an acre, if it's zoned T5, 5 levels, you can build 65 units in that acre.
and
so
that
the
would be
door.
65 doors.
So that's 65 doors that you have to buy. Let's round it out at $30,000. If you do the math, when the property's up on the market for $5 million, do the math at 30 times 65, and it's like $1 million. So you're like 4 million short of trying to even build something affordable. Just
that makes
on the
any
dirt,
sense. Yeah.
on the dirt, just on site control. So it's very, very difficult. And that's why you hear, last time that we were here, we talked about the CRA and how these programs try to help and try to get
Right.
there. But you have to generate so much money to be able to get there that it just takes a long time. It's very difficult. So I always felt that affordability is very difficult in our particular county.
So let's switch gears a little bit to affordable housing for those of us that aren't necessarily in that governmental
Mhm.
category.
Mhm.
But for example, I'm working with a young couple right now,
Right.
and he's a young attorney and isn't making great money, but
Right.
future potential,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Attorneys are always
Yep.
looking for more.
They watch the show.
They do. And so it's a situation where they're in that pocket of homes that are super hot right now, and they go under contract even sometimes before they truly
Yeah.
hit market. Their budget, they have a pre-approval for just above 500,000.
Right.
Yet they're looking in the low to mid fours because they feel like their monthly payments, that's where they're comfortable, which is wonderful. They have a concrete idea of what they want. They are making over the average minimum.
Right.
Okay. And so they're not in that governmental category, yet they feel like the market has run away from them in affordability for them.
Yep.
So the conversation today is mostly about that. How do people making $70,000 or maybe even $100,000 and they need a larger home for their family? And my God, 12 months ago, it was affordable price-wise for the house. Yes, interest rates have come down, but now the prices have skyrocketed 27%, somewhere around there, which is the number right now.
Yeah, which is huge. We have a supply and demand issue that will always be here. And then again, we go back to some government thinking, and we use the example of 65 units on an acre lot. Well, your zoning is planned out that way. So when you can only build 9 units on an acre of single family homes, that tapers down what you can actually get out there and get out there build. Right now, Miami-Dade County is trying to expand by the Air Force base, Homestead Air Force.
Oh, okay.
They're trying to change the zoning there to see if they can get any more housing or more commercial. So all of these things are affecting us. We just have a land, we don't have enough land. We are a peninsula. We have the ocean on one side, the Everglades on the other side, and that's it. And that's a reality. So we're going to get to a point where we can only take on this amount of people, and we're going to continue to climb. And we also have a culture of investment here, an investment culture. And I think that's another thing too that siphons off that mid-level price range home from an investor standpoint. An investor sees, I'll give you a good story. Went to see a little duplex over in the Shenandoah Silver Bluff area, and it was listed at 365. It had like 100 offers like first day. The place is completely dilapidated.
At 365, I would expect that.
And it's a duplex. So my person is coming in, knocking it down and building, one of the twin homes. Then I had other people that you could tell that want to put the deal together, and they would use one as their living space and another one for maybe a small investment, but they're financed. They're not going to compete against a cash deal. They're not going to compete against a swarm of these investors, and they can't get insurance for the property. So that's the other thing too. If you're a finance deal, you really can't go in on that low level because the property won't meet the insurance criteria.
This is our dilemma, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got another wave of buyers, and the buyers aren't end users, people that are going to live in the property. They are investors.
Right. Absolutely.
And that frustrates the heck out of agents who want to help true people live in a home.
Right.
It obviously frustrates buyers. Is there a solution?
I think we as agents can do something. I did this with a little condo that I put out there in Saga Bay for $130,000. You know that you put something out for $130,000 and you're going to have 75 million people.
Right.
And we actually got multiple offers, and we gave the shot to somebody that's going to live it, and gave them the.
You did that, but you must have had to have a pretty frank discussion with the seller.
Absolutely.
And what was that conversation like? Because most sellers,
the seller in this case, the seller's compassionate. The seller said, "Listen, let's do it." She knows that she's going to sell it. Otherwise, doesn't matter. So we're going to go through the process of the appraisal process. We know the appraisal is going to be tough. We know that it may not happen, and we may have to work on that. But at least my seller was informed, compassionate, and said, "Yes, let's give this person the opportunity." Instead of the deal that I know I'm going to get, because you're going to get that deal anyway. So I think if some sellers are a little bit more, if the agents do a little bit more for that instead of the quick kill, because an agent doesn't want to go through an appraisal. Agent doesn't want to go through inspections. If I walk in here and say, "Dude, cash here, 400 grand, bye-bye." And that the agent's saying, "I'm getting 12 grand. I'm out of here." And I think that's one of the things that we as agents could do a little bit better. And I think some of the good ones do.
So the agents with real conscious behavior can slowly affect the market. I
think we can, as long as we're doing what our sellers are asking us to do. But I think that sellers, for the most part, if there is the opportunity to do a deal where they feel that a homeowner is coming in, I think they'll look at that deal. I really do. Now, there's others that are just mercenaries. You have people out there that don't give a rat's ass. So they're just going to go and say, "No, give me the 500 grand, give me the 400 grand, give me whatever, I'm out." And that's a reality.
And a lot of the sellers are going to do that too. Oh, a cash deal at a number that I didn't expect. We're done.
We can't overcome that.
Right.
But I think if we at least put it in their minds and give it an effort, I think at least you can sleep at night.
So I'm going to highlight a couple of areas. These are the numbers right off the press, hot off the press,
presses.
right? And we're looking at a month-to-month difference. So I'm talking about last month versus today. In Coral Gables, we've actually reduced inventory even further from 2.7 months of inventory last month to 2.5.
Yeah.
Not significant, but still you're seeing that downward trend, which continues to actually astonish me.
But I have an interesting comment on the Gables. I've seen properties go under contract, and I've actually seen them come back.
Yes. And the secret is, I know why, but tell us why.
They come back. Either they don't meet some inspection criteria, or they just don't appraise.
Yeah, and for the most part, it's appraisal. That's
and it's funny that because they're peaking up, they're up high, and you know it, and you're looking at some of these, it's like, damn, I mean, this can't go there. And either you get a magic appraisal, or you get somebody that comes down and just says, look, these are the numbers, and that's it. But I've seen some come back.
Cutler Bay.
Yep.
It was already ridiculously low inventory, 0.9 months of inventory. Now they're at 0.7. Again, small difference, but still trending to having almost nothing available. By the way, Cutler Bay, that translates to currently, today, there are 46 homes available in all of Cutler Bay.
And that's at all price.
Yeah, exactly. Then you look at Palmetto Bay, which is at 0.9 months of inventory, and Pinecrest is at 2.5 months of inventory. It's just incredible. So forget about affordable housing. Just find me anything, right?
Yeah. And that's why you're starting to see people reach into Continental Park. You see showing out,
across the highway.
Across the highway, where everybody was always going to be, east of the highway, or we call east of the highway, west of the highway, whatever that is. And now you're seeing people starting to go into those areas. But even those areas, like around Baptist, several years ago,
updraft.
Yeah, and they're all just climbing and climbing.
I want to go back and just briefly talk about land, because the prime land in Pinecrest is north of 112th and east of 67th Avenue. And if you can get a lot there, the builders just will eat that alive all day long, build these monstrous homes on there, and they have margin. Now, in my mind, last year, an absolutely beautiful acre lot was fetching $1.2 million. Right. And that's a lot of money. So in order to be able to create value for the builder, and so he has a profit margin, he's got to build a 8,000 square foot home.
He's got to go at least 3 times the land cost.
Okay.
Now, automatically. He's got to look already going in 3 times that.
Okay.
So you're looking at $4 million.
Today, that same piece of land is just over 1.5 million.
Right.
The homes can't get much bigger because they are utilizing the maximum amount of buildable square feet on that lot already.
Correct.
So how does that translate again to affordable housing?
And here I'm gonna put a very unpopular thing out there, especially for NIMBYs, what we call it, not in my neighborhood. So you're looking at an acre lot in Pinecrest, and you're building one house on an acre.
Right.
Just think about that. Split that acre into 4. You can build 4 really nice houses on a really nice lot, Palmetto Bay-ish, okay, into that lot. Try to get that passed through your local government.
Right.
Ain't no way. I mean, it's just, so what we do is, and again, we have this, it's this give and take, and it's back and forth. And I see both points of views. And when I was a little bit more in the public servant sector, we heard a lot about this. But the reality is we don't manage our land, the land that we do have, to benefit affordability. And again, even if you split the lot 10 years from now, it's going to be right back where it is. Because again, we are a desirable venue. We're becoming more desirable as some of the tax changes that were done in Washington brought down a lot more people. So I think we're just desirable to be down here. Now, until we get our hurricane scare, then
we were talking about that off the show. It's like all these New Yorkers are going to come down here. Oh my God, it's incredible down here. We've got the sun. Right. We've got beautiful housing.
Absolutely.
They don't really have they don't really have that.
That's why Merrick sold in the winters.
But what's interesting is people from the Northeast. Let's not just pick on New Yorkers.
New folks coming into town.
They already have expensive housing up there, so they come down here. And the prices are going up, but they're tolerable
Yes.
to folks that are coming in from the Northeast. And they go, I've got the sun and I don't have, income
I have
tax in the
space,
state of
I have
Florida.
room. Yeah.
But when that hurricane comes, you really think that's going to change a bunch of minds.
I said we talked off record, and I mentioned to you my closing date was Hurricane Andrew. That was when I was closing on my
when you bought
home
your house in the Grove.
in Coconut Grove. My closing date was August 24th, 1992, and I remember calling my agent and asking, "Hey, are we closing today?" And the response was, "We can't find your house." So that is, if you are from here, we grew up here. I grew up here. Been here for years, and so the system. You know how it's going to happen. But I think these new people, when they're going to be on pins and needles, 6 months of the rest of the year, they're just going to be this way, and it doesn't matter if it's active or inactive. The media loves to hype them up.
Yes.
And I think if you're not prepared for that or don't understand that, and then again, our mosquitoes, even though we've put out new killer mosquitoes that are going to mutate and change everything else, I just think it's going to be a surprise to a lot of folks.
I was one of those people. In 2004 is when I came down to South Florida, and didn't really have any true knowledge of what hurricanes were going to be about. And a week after we closed, in a house that had absolutely no storm protection and certainly didn't have impact windows.
Storm protection. Who needs it?
Exactly. Or insurance.
Exactly.
Just fly.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fly by the seat of your pants.
You're going to pay for your roof anyway.
And I have to tell you, at least at the beginning, I regretted, buying a home down here. And really immensely enjoyed the area. But I went, oh my God, this is insane. And then, of course, after that first one passed, we only had 2 others.
Right.
They were lesser. Right. Thank goodness nothing happened to my house. But that was a real rude awakening. And you believe that
I think
shift the way people stay down here.
Yeah, I've always told my clients that one of the major movers of how Miami will get, what Miami will do to go up or down is always going to be how we handle our, the wind storms, as we like to call them. And I think some people, I remember a huge move out a couple of years ago where everybody freaked out because we had, I think it was either Irma or something, and we had a lot of people that were, leaving town. And I think that's one of the things that may affect some of, let's see if it plays out.
Wow.
Yeah, let's see if it plays out.
So we have affordability. We have people that are going to come down and can't afford this. Right. What about the people that were born here and really grew up here, and they're being priced out of their own neighborhoods, and they could almost taste, oh my gosh, if I just sold now, I could profit immensely off my home, which, if you've been here since you were born, likely does not have a mortgage at this point. And the price is escalating year on year, 27% on average. What do those people do? Oh my God, there's a pot of gold right there. Why can't I take it?
I can use myself as a situation. I bought in Coconut Grove for $167,000.
Silence.
Okay. And so so I could cash out, but then again, where am I going to go?
That's the question.
So
do all the native Floridians,
there's a ton of people
start disappearing.
Yeah, and you've already had those exodus, like in West Grove. In West Grove, a lot of the the traditional residents of that area have sold and moved to back home, Georgia, South Carolina. And then I think I tell my clients that you sell this, you ain't coming back in here unless you're ready to go to that next level. So financially, you're going into a different step up. And I think there are those clients out there. I mean, that's just a reality that you progress up. That's what you're striving for. When you are young, you're trying to get better. You're trying to make a little bit more coin. But I think what happens is, for those that have been sitting on these properties for a long time, you say to yourself, okay, if I sell now and I cash out, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go?
Yeah.
And I think that's it. And I think, local government tried to solve it with a little bit of portability. Most people don't even understand what that is, but at least you could, offset some of your taxes, your real estate taxes. But then again, the price is caught up to it. So you really didn't even get the savings.
Right.
So it's just a very difficult. We are landlocked. And if we wanted to do affordability, you would have to manage land differently, but it's so unpopular.
How do you manage land that's already in the hands of private people?
Exactly.
You can't manage it at this point.
But and then even future land, you don't have it. You don't have the future land to do it.
We talked about an acre and the number of doors that each individual municipality or city can say, listen, in this zone, we are zoning for 25 doors per acre, or whatever the number is. And there's pressure to create more and more value out of the same space. The land's not going to grow additional land.
Nope.
So we talked about the fact that we are, a peninsula, and the only way to go is up, right? So
Vertical.
a lot of municipalities have or are thinking about allowing height. And of course, height tends to be ugly to the people that are used to seeing single-story homes in an area.
Correct.
So there's a battle. Palmetto Bay is a wonderful example of that right now.
Right.
And then once you do break through that resistance and you allow somebody to build 4, 5, 6 stories, which a lot of people would say is reasonable, you've created density, not because there's more land, you've created density. And therefore you have traffic issues. And we are already behind the curve on traffic. So any pearls of wisdom on what we could do there?
So I know Miami-Dade tried to do something, and in essence, it makes sense when you look at it or you think about it. Is they do TOD, transit oriented development. So if you're on the rail, you can build more. You get what we would call a benefit to be able to build higher, because we're expected not to use our cars. And I argued this when I ran also, my friend. And then they told me, what are you going to do for traffic? I said, flying cars, because there's no way you're getting people off
Wait till we have traffic accidents in the sky.
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh, yeah, and in Miami, we're going to have that immediately. Yeah, immediately at the level. But one of the things that we don't look at, and I think local government fails in this point, is we try to resolve problems with things that are done elsewhere. We don't look at the problems, we look inside. And traffic in Miami, and going back to density, we are a service industry. Okay. Well, our main employer is Miami-Dade County, or schools is one of our main employers. But you're not going to take your electricians, your plumbers, your service people, your realtors, anybody else, you're not going to take them off the street. They're always going to be on the street because that's their livelihood. And we also have a culture that works for themselves. It's not like, you're working for Apple. You're here, you're working for Hal, you're working for Javi, working for Tommy. And then those people, 1 car, 2 car, 3 car.
That's it.
And you're not going to get rid of them, because I'm not going to go with you because you're going this way and I'm going that way. And it's one of the most difficult things. So when we start to add density, we try to solve that affordability problem, you're starting to layer up other problems to it. And if you want a great example, just look at the project that's going on 37th and US 1. That's the tallest tower.
Right.
The tallest tower south of Brickell. It's zoned in.
And man, does it feel like
it feels huge.
Yeah. It sticks out like a sore thumb.
Everybody else is at 12 levels, which is what it was zoned for, but that's a county property. Bam. And here we go. I think it's like over 40.
It's a bit insane. So let's take a little break here. I want to talk about the relationship that you and I have had on the air over the last couple of months. One of the things that we are always trying to do is serve our community and our potential clients.
Correct.
And you and I have such a nice rapport with each other, with differing personalities.
Absolutely.
That we offline again have decided that we need to do a show that is the Hav and Hal show, or the Hal and Hav show. We'll fight that one.
No, Hal and Hav, because you're H before J, so we'll do that.
Okay, we're going to do the alphabetical thing, but that does not put me in first position, because when the two of us sit down, we really have a wonderful dialogue.
I believe so.
To benefit our audience, starting every other week from now on. Of course, there may be times when one of us is on vacation or something, but essentially every 2 weeks, we're going to see the two of us sit down.
On vacation, we're going to go remote.
We can do it.
We'll do remote.
Tommy, can we go remote?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Perfect.
Tommy says we can do it, so we'll do it.
Yeah, you'll pick me up off of a bar or a vineyard somewhere. So yeah, we'll do it remote.
I'll be hiking. I'll be hiking. Yeah. But every other week, we're going to sit down.
Absolutely.
And we really do encourage our audience. I'm looking at you, audience. Tommy, I'm looking at there we go.
There you go.
I'm looking at you, our audience, to really contribute, give feedback to myself or Hav, because we want to know how to take this show to the next level.
To another level.
We're going to do density in a vertical fashion.
Exactly. We're going to create traffic jams.
Yeah. And we're really here to create real estate dreams. Even with this frothiness, there are ways to succeed in real estate. I'm Hal Feldman. Remax Advanced
Advanced
Realty is our company, and we can't wait to see you next week. Until then, Hal and Hav signing off.
Easy. All right.